For those out there that think their vote doesn't make a difference and maybe they don't view voting to be a very important thing, maybe your attitude is, well, you know what, why vote? Because they're just going to put whoever they want to go in there anyway. I hope to give you a little bit better perspective after this video. Before we get into this video, make sure you hit like, share my videos, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Also, make sure that your notifications are on and they're set to all. Now, let's get into this. But first, quick commercial break. Now, with inflation at 8.6% and climbing, you're going to need some help to get back to financial safety. Call them, and Noble Gold experts will share their knowledge of gold IRAs so you won't have to worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing. And if you quick, they're giving away an incredible 1/10 ounce American gold proof coin with every qualifying IRA or 401k rollover. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold. And all you got to do is call the team right now at 877-646-5347 to find out more, or you can just visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Now, let's get to this video. What's going on, America? Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. Yeah, and so I was hoping to maybe paint a better picture to some of those that are ignorant voters, casual voters. Maybe they don't do their research. Maybe they don't look at the policies or understand the impact that electing a bad official could have on your life. I mean, most Americans will vote on superficial issues and then they won't pay attention to it. They'll only hear little sound bites and clips coming from the media, coming from certain politicians that grab a mic and drop out all type of rhetoric that just keep you engaged just enough to tickle your emotions. You know what I mean? So then this way, when voting time comes around, you're mad about something or you're emotional about something, but you're not rational about it. You're not thinking about real life impacts and consequences that could take place if you vote in the wrong person. Therefore, maybe I can help you out by bringing it home a little closer, making it personal. You know, everybody makes choices in their life, and I would assume that the choices that you make, if it involved other people with key positions, very important positions that could impact or affect your life, you would want to pick the best people. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want the raggediest people working for you. So I want you to watch this clip and then I'm going to bring it home to you, okay? So prepare yourself, because if you're one of those people who voted for this man, afterwards, this might apply to you. Now, there you can see the man that I affectionately call creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe. And apparently Joe is our president somehow. And many people voted for this man. And I think that being the president is an extremely important position. In fact, I would even go so far as to say, outside of, like, you know, maybe your mom and your dad, your family, and maybe your clergy and stuff like that, the president, he carries a lot of weight. Decisions that this man makes could impact your life. It could take us to war. It can get us out of war. It has so many consequences. So you wouldn't want to be reckless about voting in or electing a particular president that has so much power and influence. You would want to know that this man was competent, he was sharp, he was witty, he was wise, he was fair. All of these things that would make a good leader, that's probably something you would look for in a president, considering he could impact your life. So we're going to go ahead and just examine about maybe 2 minutes or so of creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe, the president of the United States, somehow.
Noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote.
What did you just say? End of quote?
Women are not without electoral and or political or maybe precise, not and or political. End of quote. End of quote. End of quote. End of quote. Repeat the line. Repeat the line. Repeat the line. Repeat the line. I want to thank the Vice President Harris and the Second Gentleman for allowing us to join them. No, for joining us.
No, wait, I got to go back to the repeat the line. Repeat the line. End of quote. Did Joe just get stuck? Did his gears just jam up? He sounded like a robot that just got stuck. So if I'm seeing this straight, the president was reading a teleprompter and he read the directions in the teleprompter. End of quote. Repeat the line. I'm sure that wasn't a part of the speech. And the two people standing next to him looked like they were about to explode with laughter. And yet they had to hold that in, because I'm sure they were reading along with Joe. Now, I'm thinking that, man, for a person who has so much power, if he can't read those lines, if he can't put that together, then we're in trouble. That man is in way over his head. He does this all the time. This ain't one of those, oh, he just made a boo-boo this time. He's done this multiple times. And someone voted for him, okay? Let's continue, though, because,
And on more than one occasion, Father Alex and I have had the honor to visit His All Holiness Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew, which is a great honor. No, I'm not joking. Not a joke. Not a joke.
Oh.
I'm not joking. Not a joke.
Not a joke.
Not a joke. Not a joke.
No.
Not a joke.
Mm.
Not a joke.
Not a joke.
No, not a joke. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking.
And that's the scary part about it. See, actually, Joe is the joke. When this man gets up there and he's not a joke, not a joke, not a joke, not a joke. When he's trying to be funny, he's not. And when he's not trying to be funny, he's funny. And yet we see him get up on stage constantly, can't read a whole sentence, can't pronounce his words properly. He forgets things. He makes up stuff. He doesn't know where he is. He calls people other people's names. He mixes up his wife and his sister. He just stops in mid-sentence and say, "Oh, you know the thing." This is the guy that has the nuclear codes. This is the guy that could say, today we want to go to war. This is the guy that woke up randomly, I guess, and just said, let's withdraw out of Afghanistan without thinking it through. And there were consequences that followed. This is the same guy that got in office and in like a day or so, shut down the Keystone Pipeline, declared war on the energy and gas, and all of a sudden you start seeing prices go up. This is the same guy right now that's telling us it's Putin. Do you think after listening to him just a few minutes that you think he has the wits to match with Putin or maybe with Xi or any of the world leaders as he walking around being the joke and don't even know he's the joke, talking about not a joke, not a joke. But, let's continue because people voted for him.
Today, I'm authorizing the release of 1 million barrels per day
1 million barrels
for the next
per
6
day.
months, over 180 million barrels for the strategic from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. This is a wartime bridge to increase oil supply until production ramps up later this year. And it is by far the largest release of our national reserve in our history.
Since Joe Biden started releasing all this oil from our reserves, which he does not own, you do, we do, what has happened to gas prices?
Good question.
They haven't dropped. They've kept going up.
Wow.
Huh? It really was a mystery.
It is a mystery.
It violated the most basic rules of economics. But now, thanks to a new report in Reuters, we know why. It turns out the oil being released isn't for us.
What?
It's going to India and China.
So let me understand this. Once again, this person is in charge of the whole country. And what he does is, after destroying our energy sector and declaring war on them, and then not being tough enough as a leader to where he could have prevented the whole Putin and Ukraine situation, now he's claiming we're in a pickle. He's claiming there is nothing we can do about these rising oil and gas prices and all the other inflation. This is the guy who has punted out all the responsibilities to Vladimir Putin, as if Vladimir Putin runs our country. This is the guy that's supposed to be projecting strength on the global stage. And yet this man is claiming we can't do nothing. Vladimir Putin controls our economy. He controls the gas prices. Everything that goes wrong in our country is because of Vladimir Putin. What signal do you think he's sending to Vladimir and to Xi and to all the other leaders, as this man lies to the American people by talking about he's going to release our reserves, and we're thinking we're going to benefit off of this, only to find out that this stuff has been sent to other countries? Isn't that kind of ironic? He's supposed to be making these choices. This is the man that also allowed his administration to send baby formula to illegal immigrants. At the same time, American citizens were over here struggling to find baby formula. This is the same guy who did that. This is the guy who can't put together sentences. This is the guy who, as he was trying to encourage us through that little clip right there about him releasing the reserves, could barely formulate the sentence. You're sitting there trying to focus on it and trying to be all positive and say, well, I guess this is a good thing, right? I mean, he's going to give us some relief. First of all, the relief never came. Secondly, he struggled just to get the sentence out about the relief. This is the guy that people voted for. Let's continue.
We got a long way to go because of inflation, because of
who?
I call it the Putin tax increase. Putin because of gasoline and all that grain he's keeping from being able to get to the market.
Months before the war in Ukraine began, and somehow Vladimir Putin secretly seized control of gas prices in the United States. How did he do that?
Exactly, Tucker. He can't do that. This is the guy that people voted for who belittled all of our intelligence by saying, Putin, he's holding up the grain, and Putin's the gas prices and inflation. I thought you were supposed to take responsibilities for all the stuff that happens on your watch. Can you imagine? Trump, all of this stuff going on right here. If Trump start kicking that out to Putin, then they'd be calling him a Putin puppet. He's scared of Putin. He's letting Putin run all over him. He won't stand up to Putin. This is the same man right there that said, I'll stand up to Putin. He knows better. And this and this and that. And he's done nothing except appease everybody, except for us, the voters. This guy, do you think he's capable of making rational, tough decisions? Do you think he's in charge? I mean,
No, you stay here. I'm in charge.
Do you feel in charge?
do he feel in charge? As Bane would say, do you feel in charge? This man is the person that they want us to believe is in charge. But it doesn't stop there. He just blamed it on Pootie, y'all. But listen to Joe.
Number one, no more subsidies for fossil fuel industry. No more drilling on federal land. No more drilling, including offshore.
Yeah.
No ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period. Ends.
I'm happy to take questions if that's what I'm supposed to do, Nance, whatever you want me to do.
Am I on? No, we don't want him to talk.
Oh, wow. What a slap in the face. I wonder if Joe heard this statement by Nancy Pelosi on that hot mic. I wonder if he understands how in secret they're embarrassed, ashamed, and scared of him to say anything. This is the man that they stuck out to us as the guy who's going to solve all the problems when he's so compromised that Nancy Pelosi doesn't know she's on the mic and the truth comes out. Am I on? No, we don't want him to speak. Why not? Why wouldn't you want a competent man to speak? A leader, a guy who you all thrusted up on your shoulders along with the media, walked him around talking about he's a jolly good fellow. He's going to bring civility to our country. He's going to restore America to its greatness. He's going to go ahead and bridge the gaps and we're going to be respected. We're going to be respected again on the world stage. And yet she's embarrassed of this dude. She feels she has enough authority and power to say, no, we don't want him to speak. My question is, who is we? And what gives you guys the power or even the feeling that y'all need to silence this man? Could it be the fact that we just watched him read the teleprompter and read right through the directions? End the quote. Repeat. Could it be that why you don't want him to speak? And yet they stuck him out there. But they don't deserve all the blame. See, this is the part of my video when I have to share the blame with the voters. So, as I build my case, letting you know how important this position is as the president, you wouldn't want to take this lightly when you vote, right? Because we see now, voting the wrong people in have real life consequences. Hopefully you recognize them every time you go to the pump. But just in case you don't, here's some practical things in your life. And you tell me, how would you feel if you needed a person or persons to do these things right here and Joe Biden showed up? So just for starters, a doctor, if you needed a doctor and Joe Biden showed up, would you be like, oh yeah, I feel confident, huh? Or would you be like, I'm concerned, this man, he's trying to explain things to me and I can't even understand a word he's saying? Or maybe perhaps a surgeon, something so serious as having surgery. Would you trust him? If he came in talking just like this, behaving like this, and you needed brain surgery, open heart surgery, would you feel comfortable choosing him as your surgeon? What about perhaps maybe a pediatrician? Would you trust the care of your child with creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe? The guy that sniffs all the kids? The guy that is talking about how it's okay if a 9-year-old wants transgender reassignment? Would you trust that guy? Huh? So what about maybe, say, a lawyer? You know, a lawyer can get you in or out of a pickle. If you pick the wrong lawyer, you going up the river, man, without a paddle. And yet, an important position like that, Joe Biden shows up, says, I'm here to represent you. How quick would you get up and run out of there and say, give me a public defender because this guy's about to get me sent to prison? Or maybe like an accountant. Accountants have very, very important positions. Let them mess up your books and you'll see what happens. But then we hear Joe saying things like, wait, 1 gazillion billion quadrillion dollars. Wait, no, wait. 7, you know what? That's a lot of money. Stuff like that. Would you trust that guy? Huh? What about maybe a CEO of your company? I mean, you taking all your savings, your money, and you about to launch out a new company and you want to hire the best person for it. You got one shot. That person mess it up, all your savings gone, your life dreams. And Joe Biden walks into the office. Would you say, this is our guy? The guy who can barely read a teleprompter. Or perhaps, what about your financial planner? Would you trust him if he's sitting down with you talking about, all right, listen, I know that Putin is messing up the inflation and it's Putin's price hikes and Would you say, yeah, I trust this guy to guide me with my finances and stuff moving forward? How about a life coach? Something like that. Would you take advice from this guy? Same guy who walked around with a mask that's so big it barely fit on his face, didn't know how to put it on half the time, it was sliding all over the place, yet sitting there telling all of you guys, you better do what I say, okay, because our patience is running thin. This same guy, if he was a life coach telling you how to raise your family, your kids, and he promoted your kids to stay in classrooms with masks on their face or just simply be out of school for like 2 years straight, your life coach. Yeah, what about maybe a business planner? You go to Joe Biden and he comes in and talking, I'm about to help you with your business because me and my son Hunter, we've been booming. Now let me start off by saying I can get people fired, okay? Prosecutors and stuff, and then I got a friend named Chi. Hooked me up with a $1.5 billion deal. Would you trust this dude? With all of his financial woes and stuff, all of this controversy surrounding him, the corruption, the leaning on folks and having them scratch your back, his son making all that money mysteriously, yet being a crackhead, would you trust that guy? How about maybe if you needed an airplane pilot? Joe Biden, you get on the plane and then he comes in talking about some, oh, this is your captain speaking, creepy, sleepy, sleazy, slimy, sloppy Joe. We're going to be flying at 1,000 miles, what, 10 gazillion, wait a minute, we're going to be flying pretty high. Would you be okay with that? Would you feel confident flying on that plane? Or would you say, excuse me, stewardess, can I switch planes? I know I would. What about if you needed something like a cop, a competent cop? You hear somebody breaking in your crib or something and Joe Biden shows up. All right, I'm here to, find out where the burglar, wait a minute, is it Corn Pop? Is Corn Pop here? No, Corn Pop's not here. Aren't you a cop? No, I'm not Corn Pop. No, I didn't say Corn Pop. I said cop. Aren't you a cop? I don't know Corn Pop. Wait, I do know Corn Pop. Tried to cut me with a switchblade. That guy, would you be okay? Or would you say, somebody send the chief out? Somebody, how'd this guy get hired? How did this guy get on the force? Or what about maybe a firefighter? Joe shows up to put your fire out. All of your important valuables in the crib, maybe even got a couple pets left in there. And Joe shows up acting like we just witnessed. And would you feel comfortable saying, man, this guy right here is going to get it done? Or would you say, never mind, go ahead and get back in the fire truck and give me the hose, I'll put it out myself? Or perhaps maybe something even more simplistic but yet important. Would you trust that man to babysit your kid? I wouldn't trust this dude. Joe, the baby needs changing at 3. So do I. Joe, the baby can't talk. Neither can I. Joe, the baby can't hold his bladder or its bowels. Neither can I. Joe, the baby can't put together a full sentence. Neither can I. Would you let this dude babysit your kid? Or would you be going, man, I might come home, Joe and the kid laying in poop all over the place, covered. How about this? Even something more simplistic. This is how bad Joe is at this point. And if you can't see him doing these very simplistic things, yet you voted for him to be the president, you should be ashamed. Would you be okay with this dude being a house cleaner? Cleaning your house. I would be so concerned. Joe, you're wiping the same spot like 15 times. Move on, Joe. The man needs direction everywhere he goes. Did you not see that card that said, come in, greet people, say hello, sit down, ask one question, then get up, leave. All of that. And yet he comes up here to clean the house. Where do I start? Isn't that your job? I got to sit here now and be, all right, Joe, right there. Now come over here. Go do that. Joe, sweep this. Joe, where you going? Where you going? No, there's no ice cream in there, Joe. Would you trust that guy to clean your house? Or what about, maybe cut your lawn? Huh? I mean, you might come back. His whole foot's missing. Might be over there cutting somebody else's lawn. What? I thought this was your yard. Would you let him do that if he showed up talking and acting like we witnessed? And then, of course, something even more simple than that, a dishwasher. I mean, this man showed up, I'm here for a dishwashing job. Yeah, you know what? Back in my day, we used to wash dishes, and then I broke this one dish, and I was going to cut corn pop with it, and then I got on the trolley, and this and this and that. Would you trust him? I wouldn't trust this dude with anything, but yet, people trusted this guy to be the president of the United States. Now, I didn't. Most people who are wise, who study some type of politics, who try to be informed, who are able to look through all of the emotions, the rhetoric, the dogma, the manipulation, the gaslighting, and see through these people, you would have been able to see that Joe was just like this when you voted for him. Somehow it got by you. But hopefully after watching this, it'll put it all back into perspective. If you would not hire Joe after watching those clips to do any of the things I just read down that list, my own personal list that I told you, that probably would be important things to you. If you wouldn't hire that guy for that, then why in the world would you vote for this guy to lead the country? So hopefully you see it through a whole different lens and perspective. God bless you. God bless America. Because right about now, we need it. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Oh, and don't forget to check out my podcast. All the links are below.